Hi, folks. I'm Sandeep. I am a program manager on the Power Apps team, and I particularly focus on portals. What I'm going to talk about is Portal has a lot of ton of capabilities which allow you to have an application built for your external users. Users who are external to your organization. So, as part of the features that we're doing for the release wave one this year, one of them is the enhancement to the portal search. So portal has provided for long a global search that allows one to search across records such as cases, knowledge articles, forums, post blogs, web pages, and web files. Now, the search capability today is widely used for those that have implemented the portals, but it does limit to the entity types or the record types that I have just mentioned. So hence there has been an ask to allow makers to configure more entity types which their business scenario demands, and especially on the starter portal where the options become all the more limited if you don't have like case entity or knowledge article entity, and you get limited to only searching on web pages and web files. So that wasn't useful. So we did receive a lot of good feedback and requests, and as I said, with April, around April, when we go deploying the release wave one features, what's coming to a portal near you is the capability to search additional entities, which kind of cover beyond just case and the other entity types, more out of the box entities, and as well any custom entities that you create in the common data service. The capability will be inherent to the portals as a platform, so it will be available on all portal template types like the CDS starter or the blank portal built on top of the common data service, and the oral portal templates like the community portal, customer self-service, etc. We have tried to remain consistent in our configuration experience and the end user experience. So if you already have implemented this global search, now you can surface just more data within that experience. So one can now specify entities and attributes via a portal, search named entity view, which is going to actually define the scope of the set of attributes that you are going to allow search on, and hence be indexed, for the search to run the queries off from. The next thing is that you can also specify once the search results come up and the end user actually clicks on a search result, what page should open to show that record type. And of course, the all the goodness, if you want to create some more filters or want to provide weights on certain entity types so that the search results on those kind of surface up in the order higher, you could do that. We use the Lucene search, and it requires that syntax for the weights to be specified. And of course, all the goodness of being able to search with wildcards and like term modifiers and the search syntax, all is going to also be available for these additional entities. The portal search also will kind of honor all of the entity permissions and the authorization model that you have set. So if you have restricted an end user to see only records that are created by them, then you can limit it via entity permissions, and search like the other artifacts like entity forms and entity views or lists is going to honor the permissions model. And you could use just the search page to allow users to search and show up results, or you can programmatically use the search index liquid tag that we provide and build your own custom experience for search. And it is also going to kind of support the additional entities. So with that, let's get into the demo and see some of this stuff firsthand.
I have a question before you even start the demo.
Yeah.
Is there a limit on the size of the data that you can search through?
Yeah, we are kind of finalizing that, but it's going to be quite large because the index file that gets created is pretty small. However, the larger the data is, we are going to keep some limits on the file size, but it's going to be announced closer to the release.
Sounds good.
So here what you see is a starter portal, and what I've done is I've customized it by adding the Northwind entities, which are particularly the order products, like that surface up on my web pages. So I have built that experience to have an orders list, and one can go ahead and kind of create orders and modify orders. But what I'm going to show you is this is the global search that portal has had. Now I have created filters in the by customizing it, and surfaced my custom entity types here, orders and order products. So what I'm trying to search today is a particular set of orders that have to be kind of reviewed again. So what I do is I say that, oh, okay, I recall that the orders that I'm looking for have a 900 series order number in them. So I can use the wildcard search just to initiate it. And yes, it does surface up the 10 orders that are in that series. But since the order information is only limited right now in the primary field to be just the order numbers, this makes me click each of the orders to identify which ones need to be reviewed. Now, again, using global search, what I can do is I do remember that all of these orders did have the Northwind traders product in them. And I'm going to expand my search to the order products. So if I just say Northwind here and click on it, what it has done is it's kind of expanded that search to the other entity type that I had enabled, which is the order products. And what it does is that it starts showing me all of these products and the orders, and I can quickly use the facet to filter down to the type of records that I'm interested in. So this can be extended, but it doesn't really tell me, orders that I need to get down to. So I give it a little more information, and I know that it had clam chowder as one of the products in it. So if I go ahead and do that, what you see it has done is that it has still searched on the order number, the primary prefix to the product, and the specific product that has clam chowder in it has been surfaced up. So what Lucene Search does is it actually does rank the results higher where it sees most of the matches being made, and it also highlights the search terms that it finds. So it is going to show like what was the exact description or the title field where the match happened and what keywords were exactly matched. And this search result did rank higher amongst others. So if I click on it, I can now get down to all the orders that had this product and do my reviews. So that was just an example, but you can have other implementations. And yes, of course, because I have access to orders, if I sign out from here, I'm going to not be able to search on these. So it is in kind of respecting and honoring the permissions model that I have put around the orders entity. So that was a quick glimpse. It does require you to go into some of the site settings that we call for portal and their access to the portal management app, wherein you go and enable these filters to show up and what are the weights that you can put against each of the entity types, and using site markers functionality of portals, you can specify which search result page should open. So if you noticed here, it actually opened up the products page because I specifically configured this page to be opened up. You can actually open up the entity form, which may look something like this. So if you go and want to just have the order information form open up, you can specify that as well in the site markers, and it's going to show up. So that's, I think, a quick glimpse of how this search functionality works and can be used. And yeah, over to you, Todd, for any questions.
Yeah, that's really nice. My first question is do you have like a hands-on lab or a blog or anything that kind of walks through how you get the hello world version of this going with a custom entity?
Yes, so we are going to provide a quick start kind of article along with this. Right now, it's not available in preview. Like it's going to directly be generally available around the April timeframe. But we are going to provide steps on what exactly those keys are. And the existing documentation on docs.microsoft is also going to have that article with an example to say how you can get your entities configured.
That's very nice. I already have an idea of the exact Power Apps portal I am going to use this in. I'm really excited about it. We're tossing around the idea of building a Power Apps portal for our little thing we call the demo extravaganza here on the Power App community call. And it's basically just a fun contest for everyone around the world to demo cool stuff with Power Apps, and then the community picks a winner. And we've been tossing around the idea of building a portal to facilitate people putting their entries in for the extravaganza and doing the voting, and with the search capability with the custom entity that would fit exactly into what we have in mind there. I'm sure other people right now are got the wheels turning too. I do see a couple questions here. The first question is from Alistor, and his first question is this search powered by Azure? And does the small search icon in the top right provide the exact same experience? He says in the past he's seen differences between these two search methods.
Right. First one, no, it's not built on Azure Search. We right now run this show on Lucene Search. We do have plans in the long run to actually build it off the search that Dynamics and the Common Data Service use for relevant search. So yes, there are plans, but right now this runs on a different engine. The second question I heard was that there are differences in search results. So that happens because portals have their own orthogonal security model. But if you are doing like a global search and a user in Dynamics or Common Data Service has all privileges and also same is the experience, then it's going to show up the same record sets. It's not going to differ. It may do the sorting because based on the weights and the other things that you may have configured in site settings, but it's not gonna have lesser or more records just because of that. So it does give you kind of the same view. Only thing is if you have a different entity permission set up on the portal side, yes, then you're gonna have differences in data that show up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what you would want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Another question, Uday's got the exact same question I was going to ask you if no one popped it, and that is, how often is the data being indexed?
So we do have a specific time interval that we publish, and it's gonna kind of invalidate the index and rebuild it. We do provide, if you're just kind of building in unit testing, there is a services about page that you can hit where we explicitly give a kind of a button for it to be invalidated and the index to be rebuilt. So we give an action while you are kind of unit testing and quickly, trying out different criterias and logic for your data. But it's gonna take the updated records at regular time intervals from CDS, and the index is going to be updated.
That's awesome that you're thinking ahead on that one. You must come from a development background yourself. Let's see here. Would you be able to do that same trigger you talked about of the index programmatically?
Currently, we do not have an API support for that, but I would love to hear the example of what is that kind of tool or capability, what you're trying to build, where you would need the programmatic access to such rebuilding of the index.
I imagine it would be something related to ALM, or maybe a scenario where you received a big data dump on a regular basis, maybe once a month, you get 1 million records from another system put into CDS here where you're searching it, and then you need to make sure at that point in time you kick the index off. I guessed right. Victor, who asked the question, said that's exactly right. So that would be the scenario.
Got it. Yes. So I think if that's the scenario, we can think of multiple ways. Either, API providing that in the hands of the customizers or the devs, is one option, or we could have that as a configuration somewhere where it could get invalidated and rebuilt at a schedule. So yeah,
that'd be really handy. PowerShell or a REST API to trigger that, either one would be great. Heck, even make an action for us out of the box and have it available so we just drop it in a flow and tell it to run on a scheduled basis even might be really cool.
Noted.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming and sharing this awesome stuff with us too. Can we have you back again to show us what next thing evolves that you're working on with portals?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we have a few things we would love to share with the community as they get mature around April or May timeframe. Yes, as we release them out, we would be happy to. I think as a team, we'll have more representation on portals. Yeah.
Sounds great.